Welcome everyone back to the LWT Wildlife channel. Those devastating sounds and the absolute destruction you just saw, that is the nightly work of America's invasive super pigs. According to the USDA, these ruthless survival machines have completely overrun more than 35 states, with their population exploding to an estimated 6 to 9 million. They are a truly terrifying invader, causing endless headaches and massive property damage for millions of families across the country. But how do everyday folks fight back? Today, we are going to dive into some simple, homemade trap inventions designed to catch an entire sounder at once. Honestly, these DIY ideas are so incredibly brilliant, they would absolutely break a max IQ scoreboard. Stick around to discover these genius solutions, because what we have in today's video is going to blow your mind. The damage across the country has reached a massive $2.5 billion every single year. These beasts eat absolutely anything and multiply faster than we can track. But here is the real question. Would you believe that with just a few clever ideas and some cheap, everyday materials, a regular farmer or small ranch owner could build a highly effective trap capable of catching dozens of wild hogs in a single night? Yes, it sounds completely crazy. But before we can build the perfect backyard trapping machine, we must first understand how our enemy operates. And there is no better place to study this monster than the absolute epicenter of the invasion, the state of Texas. You know, there's an old running joke among trappers down south. If you see two feral hogs anywhere in America, you can bet your bottom dollar that at least one of them is currently wandering around somewhere in Texas, absolutely destroying everything in its path. It's painfully simple. Texas literally holds half of the entire feral hog population in the United States, around 3 million of these destructive eating machines. Every single year, they cost Texas landowners a staggering $871 million in direct agricultural damage. To beat them, Texas landowners had to study their biology closely. Texas has a warm, subtropical climate with practically no winter freeze to keep the population in check. That means piglet survival is incredibly high. A female can have 2 litters a year, with up to a dozen piglets in each. Their only real enemy is dehydration. Because they don't have sweat glands, they must find water to wallow and regulate body heat. Knowing they are constantly hungry and always travelling in large, cautious family groups called sounders, Texans realised that random hunting wouldn't work. They needed a mechanical solution that capitalised on the hog's greedy appetite. This is exactly where the simple, time-tested, guillotine-style box trap comes into play. You have probably seen these rugged cages welded together from heavy angle iron and wrapped in thick cattle panels. The core concept here is beautifully straightforward. A heavy metal or reinforced plywood door slides vertically in a trap, suspended high enough for a whole group of hogs to enter comfortably. There are no fancy electronics or complicated sensors to break down out in the weather. It relies entirely on gravity, and gravity never fails. But a heavy door is useless if you don't know how to trigger it correctly. The trigger mechanism itself is where many DIY traps fail. A successful hair trigger adjustment using a simple stick and string is essential. But here is the IQ Max pro tip for your setup. Always place your main bait pile all the way behind the trigger stick. By making them walk to the very back, you maximize how many hogs can fit inside. Just one light root from that hog furthest inside, and boom, the gate instantly drops, trapping the whole group. Now, this box trap works wonders in the dry fields of Texas, but what happens when you take it to the swamps? Let's shift gears and head over to Florida. Here the landscape is entirely different. Hogs are tearing up delicate native wetlands, caging in sensitive preserves, and destroying pristine golf courses. The feral hog population here is estimated at around 500,000. In Florida, you can have the smartest trap in the world, but if you don't play the weather correctly, you'll catch nothing. As we learned from Texas, wild hogs do not have sweat glands. This makes the oppressive Florida heat and humidity their absolute greatest weakness. Their survival in the deep south depends absolutely on finding a muddy wallow or a clean water source to regulate their temperature. For a clever trapper, this specific behaviour is a massive strategic advantage. While corn is always an effective bait, placing your simple drop door box trap near a known waterhole or recent wallowing site right in the middle of the dry season will significantly increase your odds. Those wary, massive, mature boars will throw caution to the wind when they are desperate to cool off. But again, a heavy steel cage isn't perfect for every terrain. Heading north into Oklahoma, the invasion continues, with an estimated 1.5 million feral hogs. Oklahoma agriculture reports confirm about $116 million in annual damages. Landowners here face a unique challenge: the terrain. It's a mix of dense brush, expansive grasslands, and rolling hills. Dragging a massive, heavy steel box trap deep into the Oklahoma brush just isn't practical or portable enough for many ranchers. They needed something lighter, smarter, and something that didn't require constant human monitoring out in the rough country. Addressing that need, many successful landowners adapted the continuous catch gate principle. Instead of a heavy falling door, this is often just a simple, spring-loaded one-way gate attached to lighter fencing. The hog smells the bait, pushes the door inward with its snout, and enters. Once inside, the spring pressure immediately pulls the door shut behind them. It's a brilliant passive system. It allows the cautious older boars to eventually follow the younger ones inside, hours after the trap first triggered. It works completely silently, all night long, with zero electronics. Now, whether you are using a guillotine box trap in Texas, playing the water game in Florida, or using a passive gate in Oklahoma, there is one non-negotiable rule. You must capture the entire sounder. Catching just 1 or 2 hogs means nothing. They will repopulate in months. As we've seen today, these simple homemade traps are incredibly effective when set up correctly. But here is the real discussion for today. Do you have an idea for the absolute most optimal IQ max door design to make this type of trap even more flawless? I would absolutely love to hear your brilliant ideas. Who knows? Maybe a real trapping genius is watching this exact video right now, and soon everyone will know about your concept. So let's get a discussion going and comment right down below. I will definitely reply as soon as I read it. Goodbye, and I'll see you on the next LWT Wildlife video.